What's good, YouTube? Masex back with another video, and today we're going to be looking at the linebackers. And of course, when I say linebackers, I mean stand-up linebackers, the traditional guys, you know, the Ray Lewises, the Brian Urlachers of the world. Hope everybody had a great Christmas holiday, took a little bit of time off to kind of recharge, be with the family and whatnot, but we're definitely back, and we're going to continue the series of positional rankings. And honestly, I'm not going to waste any time. Definitely if you're new to the and of course, before we get started, and if you're new to the channel, what's good? I'm Mace. Definitely like and subscribe to this video as it helps the channel grow. We are right around the corner for 1K. It's been a long time coming, but through steady support from you guys, we are just about there. So hopefully we can get there after this video, who knows? But nonetheless, we're going to hop straight into it. The top 5 linebackers for the 2025 draft. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. All right, we're going to start things per usual with number 5 and work our way to the number 1 ranked prospect for the position. And at number 5, we have Danny Stutzman out of Oklahoma. Listed at 6'4", 241 pounds. This true senior has an excellent resume, immediate impact as he started 10 games as an 18-year-old true freshman, which Oklahoma's a prestigious school. They had a down year this year, but historically they're always nationally competitive, and that means a lot when I'm evaluating. I'm looking at the resume and how early you created an impact. Prototypical size, as I mentioned, 6'4", good length, listed at 240 pounds. That's pretty good size for a stand-up linebacker. He's very consistent, just across the board. Started 10 games as a true freshman, 100 plus tackles sophomore, junior, and senior year. He's a really good blitzer. Gets in the backfield a lot in the run game, even has 3 career interceptions, though coverage to me is not his strength. He does have some struggles there. Sometimes I do question his overall athleticism and where that ceiling will provide at the next level. But all in all, Danny Stutzman, realistically, I could see him as a day 1 starter. Moving on up to my number 4 linebacker, and I have Deonte Lawson out of Alabama, listed at 6'2", 239 pounds, 5-star pedigree this past year in his redshirt junior year, 76 tackles, 2 sacks, and a very good Alabama defense. Very athletic. He's a sideline to sideline guy. I fully expect him to run 4.6 or better at the combine. He has that combination of size, speed, and instincts, which is going to make him that ideal linebacker in the modern NFL. From what I was able to evaluate, not the best in coverage, which is contrary to his athletic traits and gifts. I'm sure at the next level, there's going to be some GMs that say, hey, I can coach this, I can coach that. But the skill sets are clearly there. The talent is clearly there. Sheds blocks pretty well. Captain of the defense, which that's what you want to see at the linebacker position just overall. So he's just one of those guys, man, that may not be the most popular linebacker prospect in this class, but he's definitely somebody that I think very highly of, and that's why I have him at number 4. Next up at number 3, we have another linebacker from the class of 2021, and that's Barrett Carter out of Clemson, listed at 6 foot, 230 pounds. He was actually in my positional rankings last year for the 2024 draft, decided to come back for his senior year. Another linebacker with the 5-star pedigree, very athletic, sideline to sideline. I feel can play in a multitude of schemes. He's very instinctive, excellent blitzer as it's illustrated with 14 career sacks. He's your 3-down linebacker. He can play in coverage, he can play the run. Some would say he's a little undersized. He's about 5'11", 6 foot, anywhere from 225 to 235 pounds realistically, despite what he's listed at. But when you have the athleticism to make up for it, you have the high IQ and awareness, I think that also makes up for it, especially in zone coverage. I've seen him over and over again in zone coverage, get his hands on the ball, make plays, interceptions. And just as a bonus, he was on the All-ACC academic team, in which the NFL may or may not really care about that. But for me, it's just something about a student athlete that's disciplined and just shows maturity. And if you're going to invest the money that these guys are getting, then you want somebody that's going to be mature and be a leader, especially for your defense. And that's another reason why Barrett Carter is one of my favorite linebackers in this class. And he very well could be the best linebacker when we look back 4 or 5 years from now. Now we're in the top 2, and my number 2 linebacker is Jihad Campbell a true junior out of Alabama, listed at 6'2", 244 pounds. And if you just look at highlights on YouTube, you'd say this dude is a top 15 pick. He's a highlight reel. 6 sacks in his true junior year, over 100 tackles. And a fun fact, he was actually recruited to Alabama as an edge rusher. So he's very raw, and you can just see the potential from this guy. And I think it was an excellent decision for the positional switch because he's thrived as stand-up linebacker. He honestly can play anywhere on the defense in that front seven, in my opinion. Maybe not a 3-tech or anything, but he can play the edge, the sand, the will, the might. That scheme versatility is a positive. Some may view him as a tweener, but I think that if he goes to the right system and a coordinator that knows how to use him, he can really take advantage, and you may find a gem in this guy, Jihad Campbell, because he has probably the highest ceiling in this entire linebacking class for 2025. That's how high I think of this guy. Excellent tackler. So blitzing from the linebacker position is pretty natural for him because he's always in the backfield against the run and against the pass. I want to see him continue to develop his coverage skills, but he's raw and he may need some time, but he very well can make a big impact in the NFL. Right, my number one linebacker 2025 class is none other than Jalon Walker out of Georgia, listed at 6'2", 245 pounds. Now, at the time I was recruiting these linebackers, he was pretty much listed as a linebacker. Recently, I'm hearing from some buzz that he's being viewed more potentially as an edge rusher. So we'll have to see, but for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and continue, since I already made my edge rusher video. If you haven't seen that already, definitely take a look at that after this video. We're going to keep him at the linebacker, and to me, he's the best linebacker in this class, hands down. His stock from the beginning of the season to now is probably the highest in the entire 2025 draft class. This true junior is nothing short of amazing. Has the NFL size, 6'2", 245, 250, moves like he's 220 pounds. Jalon Walker first jumped off the screen to me last year in the SEC championship game against Alabama, in which he had 2 sacks and many more pressures. And I was like, man, who is this dude for Georgia? Because I had no clue who he was at that time. He's an exceptional athlete, and at 250 pounds, I think he's going to run a 4.4 if he runs the 40 at his pro day or at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Experience may be the knock that I can really find. I think he's good in coverage. I think he's an excellent tackler, can rush the quarterback. He's just an overall defensive playmaker. It wouldn't shock me if he moves up into the first round, which you don't really see linebackers in the first round in today's NFL anymore. But I think that Jalon Walker's that type of prospect where you may, in the late first, go ahead and take that shot on him. All right, there you have it. These are my top 5 linebackers for the 2025 draft class. I think this is a really good class here. I think this class is better than last year's class. We got a blend of seniors and juniors, a lot of potential, some high floor guys, even outside of the 5 that I've listed today. I think overall, if you need a linebacker, if you're an NFL team, this is a pretty good draft to go ahead and get you a guy and plug him in the defense, or even some potential all-pro linebackers I feel that we have in this class. So that's pretty exciting, especially in today's NFL where you really don't see popular star linebackers like you used to back in the early 2010s and the 2000s and before. But if you made it this far in the video, like I always say, I deeply appreciate it. And if you haven't already, don't worry, I'm gonna remind you. Definitely like and subscribe. Support this video, man. There's more videos to come. We got the positional rankings come up. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the offensive side of the ball most likely in the next video, so stay tuned for that. I hope everyone has a great holiday season as we're going into the twilight of the football season. And at the time of this recording, we're in the middle of the college football playoffs. A lot can happen between now and a few weeks from now. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Cheat!